Hi, you guys. Welcome back. My name is Carrie Penny. I am the Happy Crafty Homemaker, and welcome to Show and Tell number 312. So today I think it's going to be a fairly short show and tell video. I have one finished object, one work in progress to talk about, and I might kind of sneak peek a different work in progress. I'll make the decision as we go. It's been a busy week, so I am pre-filming this. So I'm filming this last Thursday for when you guys are seeing this. So the last 9 days in between filming show and tells has been very busy. I had enough time to get a project started and get to a point where I was just doing stockinette, and I finished a project that was already well underway and close to being done anyway. And that's really all I've had time for. I did wind off some stuff. I cleaned up in here a little bit. I organized some stuff. I did do a little stuff shuffling in some areas of the craft room, but we're about now 50% picked back up in here. If you remember seeing my video clip in the row 1 video where I was showing you my top, how bad everything was, we're a little bit tidier, at least tidier looking right now, but we're still, I pulled together some mini skeins, partial skeins, and some leftover skeins to make a secondary mixtape sweater top. So it's been lots of little things, but I haven't had like huge swaths of time to do things. We did, as of yesterday, book our schedule out for the rest of the year. So I have 2 weeks, the last 2 weeks of September, where I might be able to put something in, like maybe going to Ohio to see my family, or maybe taking a day off. I don't know yet. It depends on what happens over the next couple weeks, because we keep stacking things continuously. Things are lining up in the right order, so it's just kind of a little crazy. It leads to like no breaks in between and huge passes of time. So we are now officially booked out through the rest of the year, so that's gonna be a thing. I think that's really all, like life update wise. Like, I think that's really about it. Before we move on to WIPs and finished objects and then pet tax, that's all we have. Like I said, short video this week. I did want to talk to you guys. So I'm in the middle of reviewing, I'm getting ready to film the review for the loops and thread anti-pilling, or the big twist anti-pilling yarn. And like I said, I wanted to also review the Mary Maxim anti-pilling yarn at the same time, or do a review where we're comparing those, and we're going to compare those up against the Premier anti-pilling. A couple of you guys reached out in email and asked whether or not I would consider doing the Lion brand anti-pilling yarn as well. So I did go ahead and order that, and we are going to do a comparative review. So I want to review the individual yarns just as yarns first, and then we will do a wash test of these yarns and see how they wash differently being washed together. And we're going to compare that to my Ancient Premier anti-pilling blanket that's been washed and laundered and dried. And like I've said, you know, it's been treated rough over the years. It's not been treated delicately or like I would treat most of my hand knit and crochet items. So is there another yarn that is an anti-pilling yarn that you would like me to add to the mix of these? So we've got Premier, Mary Maxim, Lion brand, and Big Twist that are going into this so far. So is there another one you would like me to add in? I'm doing some knit swatches and some crochet swatches with these. And then I've got a washing swatch that we're going to, once I get everybody done, we're going to start washing the swatches and wash them the same number of times, wash them and dry them, and see how they look at the end of the process. So let me know if there's another anti-pilling acrylic you would like me to throw in the mix with that. And I am using Premier as the standard that we're holding this up against, because number one, I know how it holds up. I have a lot of experience using the Premier anti-pilling line, and I've used it in multiple different weights. So I can and I've used multiple versions of it over the years as well. I mean, they have updated that yarn since it first released. So I do have, updated projects that I've made with that as well. So I am using that for the baseline for this experiment review series. But since so many of you did email me, I think I got like 4 emails and then 1 message on Instagram about whether or not I would do the Lion Brand anti-pilling as well. Let me know if there's another one you would like me to add, and I would be happy to add that into our combined review series here. Anyway, other than that, let's go ahead and jump on over to my WIP. All right, so in my Black Sheep bag that houses my Black Sheep Club pen, this is a bag from her channel. Used to be Randy's Random Ramblings, and now it's something else. Her Etsy shop was Ansier Handmade, and I think she changed that too. But bag by Randy. In this bag, I have another project that I am reviewing the yarn for. And this is the Love Note sweater. This is by Tin Can Knits. It is a paid for pattern. Many, many moons ago, generations before, Debbie, the Canadian crocheter, sent me this pattern on Ravelry, and I am only just now getting around to making it. I wanted something that read floofy and soft, but not something that had fluffs, because again, as I've said, it's even in the wintertime here, it tends to be 60+% humidity. And even when it's cold, the skin gets tacky. And I don't like having floofs that will pill faster than necessary. Although I have been told the Surrey Alpaca is doing really well for a lot of you guys that also live in humid environments when it comes to making fluffy, snuggly winter garments. So anyway, I did decide to go ahead and cast this pattern on. I have been looking for the right combination, and I think this yarn is exactly what I was looking for. This is exactly what I was waiting for in texture and size. So I am doing this on size 8 Chalgu needles. I have my point protectors from Granite Mountain that she gifted me, and I do have, these are not barber cords, these are just the spool of nylon with a tie off, but I'm getting close to being under the bust. I need my underarm area. I think I want it to be at least 10.5 inches. I will try it on once I'm at about 6 inches. I'll try it on again just to make sure we're draping in all the right areas and stuff. But this is using one of the newer yarns from Yarnspiration. This is Red Heart Cotton Breeze. And this is a size 3 yarn. Recommended hook is a US 7, 4.5 millimeter. Knitting needle, a US 6, 4 millimeter. It's 60% acrylic, 40% cotton. So I was trying to, I did a cast on for the extra large, but I did the underarm raglan increases for the 2XL. Just because I wanted a little extra drop in the underarm, because I'm going for an oversized fit with this. I didn't want something more fitted. I really wanted, especially with the round yoke, I wanted something that was going to, if I lift my arms, I wanted there to be drape to the fabric underneath the arms. And I was also trying to judge how much drop we're going to have between the acrylic and the cotton, because both of those yarns will stretch. So I kind of was in my mind trying to math out like how much stretch we're going to get to the length, which is why I think I'm going to try this on at 6 inches. I'm estimating we're probably going to have like a 10 to 15% stretch in the length. It is loose stitches. So like when I look at, I mean, you can see like we're not stacked up super tight here. So that's kind of, once again, the look I was going for, the feel I wanted with this. But because I'm doing so many minor modifications, every little modification I've done has changed how the pattern will look at the end, and trying to estimate how it's going to be with the fiber content of the sweater itself. But the try on that I did yesterday, when I was still up here, so I put in an inch yesterday. We're looking good. We're looking golden. Everything, kind of is laying down where it's supposed to, and my armhole seems to be the right size. So far, so good. I have almost finished one whole ball of this yarn. So I do think before I join in the yarn to continue the bottom, I do want to go ahead and finish off the neckline. That way I do, because I am going to have to try this on to really make sure I'm getting the right size through the sleeve and the rest of the body. I do want to go ahead and get that neckline done. That way we know exactly how that's going to be sitting, and we're not going to do anything that's going to shorten or lengthen that. I don't want to change that part of the sweater. Does that make sense? When I start over explaining things, sometimes I fold back on what I was trying to say, and I make it far more confusing. And then I make it more confusing for myself too. I do have one other top that I am working on. Like I said, I did pull the yarn to do a wool and pine mixtape, and I did say another one. So this will be the only time you guys see this until it's finished, unless you're coming by the row 1 videos. But I did start a mixtape by Wool and Pine using my row 1s. Again, I'm doing an extra large. I added 20 stitches to the length, so we're coming substantially longer than what the original pattern called for. So I think I will need all of September's yarns to complete the back. When I unboxed August, this is where I was. So I've actually done a lot since I unboxed August. But yeah, I think I need all of September in order to get all the way across. But I think with the leftovers that I have from the first 2 projects, plus what I'm going to have left over from doing these, so far, all of my leftovers for doing the back are 5.5 grams or more. So I think if I do what the colors that I did my garter in, if I do those in stockinette, I think I can extend. So it may be October when we finish this. But I did want to share because I am enjoying this so far. I'm really, really loving it. And I know there are a couple other content creators who have decided to do the Wool and Pine mixtape as their stash busters for this year. There's one in particular. If I can remember her channel name, I will put it on screen and tag her down below. She's kind of done like 4 or 5 different garments now where she's using her scrap yarn, and it's just kind of so much fun. And then she said like that's her new one that she's planning on doing, and I was just kind of tickled because I was like, well, let me tell you, I am also doing it with some scraps and some leftovers, but I'm also using my row 1s. Now with my scrap and leftover ones, I am going to do the same pattern all the way across in the same color order, because those are 20 gram minis. With the 10 grams, it is a little bit harder. And again, I do have, these were from a Yarnable, but I do have little donut point protectors on here. So, that is my WIPs section. That's what I've been working on for the last 2 weeks. Well, last 9 days since we did this. Let's jump on over to my FO. All right. Well, guess what, you guys? They are finally done. These are the buddy socks for my husband. They are a men's size 12. They're like right in between 11 and a half and a 12. I did the rounded toe, the shadow wrap heel. They are a foot long and a foot long. We did 25 rows of 2x2 ribbing. Jenny's surprisingly stretchy bind off. And when you guys saw these in show and tell 311, we were down here. So I finished all of this in the last 9 days. I only had 2 walks and only 1.5 got work on this. So that's just like the passive work I was able to get done on these in the last 9 days. But these are finally done. I have 3 ends left to weave in, the last red end and both ends on the cuff. But these did get finished off today. I did the last of the ribbing on my walk this morning, and now they're bound off. So they're finally done. I still have to weave in the ends on mine. So I might pop a picture in if I get the ends woven in on mine and show you guys what the two look like together. But this is Knit Picks Felici in the colorway Buddy. This is Cascade Heritage, and I don't remember the number or the color name. But again, if I can remember, I will put it up there because I need to put the tag back into the yarn because I do have a lot of that left. These were 92 grams finished. So that is it. They're done. They are done. So I am going to finish off this pair of socks next. And I think that's all I'm going to have time to finish before the end of Summer Sock Camp. These are my stanza socks. So I want to get a couple, I think about 3 inches off the heel is what I'm aiming for. And then I want to do the 25 row. I don't want shorties, but I also don't want crew socks. I want something in between for these. And this is Universal Stanza in the colorway Blake. And this is like Violent Violet Knit Pick Stroll. Something like that. And we're using a T-Doddles mini maker bag because these just perfectly fit on my wrist. And once these are done, I will continue to passively work on socks. I have 2 pair cast on now. I have like 4 pair to be cast on. I will continue to passively work on socks, especially as car projects and my like portable, easy to take places projects. But I really need to turn my mind to a couple of the Christmas gift things that I want to do, you know, little hats, cowls, things like that. And those are going to be my primary walking projects for the rest of for September, probably September, October, and most of November. We will probably here in the next 2 to 3 weeks get either a recumbent bike and or a treadmill because we will need something here at the house. And if we do that, I will continue to walk well into the winter or I will ride the bike. But the treadmill will more than likely go into the garage. I would prefer to put an elliptical upstairs in the workout room. And the bike will probably eventually make its way up there as well. But I want dumb ones, not smart ones. And that's kind of been like the big thing is everybody wants to have one where you can hook up with like iFit or Peloton or something like that, where you're paying monthly for the subscription for the classes. And neither one of us like doing the classes. So we just need dumb presets. That's all we need. So it's probably going to take us a couple of weeks to find what it is that we're looking for as far as that goes. Because especially like Proform has really moved into the iFit, so has Nordic Track. And so now we're looking at the secondhand market, a lot more things available there. But anyway, it's been a whole thing, and it will continue to be a whole thing for the rest of the year. So it is what it is. But yeah, this will probably wrap up. Once I finish the stanza socks, I'll continue to work on the Prussian blue socks that I cast on for Troy that are cuffed down, as well as the Bougie New Year socks that I had cast on for him. I do have one more pair of socks I would prefer to get done for my dad before Christmas, but I do also have, you know, like my brother said they could use shopping bags, pot holders, hats, and scarves. And like I said, my niece is finally old enough that I can at least make her a cowl. I don't do scarves and neck gear for under 5. So she's now old enough she can have something that goes around her neck. So I was thinking about doing mommy and me set for her and her mom, and then doing a different set that kind of coordinates for my brother. But I'm not, yeah, I'm kind of like, I don't know. He has very different style. So anyway, I would like to get those done. And those also would just be stockinette knitting. So plus eventually I'd like to get my raven cowl done as well, so I can wear the Musselburgh hat that I made myself. Just saying. And I think my dad might also want a hat while he's walking and out walking the dog. So anyway, that's all I have for you guys. Like I said, it's pretty easy. Do let me know, though, if there is an anti-pilling line that you guys want me to review. I'd be more than happy to add it in. If something like that happens and you want my opinion on something, you know, don't ever hesitate to ask. I did go ahead. I also was asked whether or not I was going to review the Premier Basic Cotton. I hadn't really planned on reviewing it because I don't love working with cotton, but I did go ahead and buy 2 colors. So I did a dark and a light, and we'll see whether or not, like, sometimes that can make a difference in 100% cotton, how saturated the dye is. So I did do a light and a dark, and I figured we could give it a shot. Why not? So if there's something like that you would like my opinion on, feel free to ask. The worst that I can say is I don't have time, which is also like kind of a thing too around here. So anyway, I love you guys. Stay tuned for some pet tags. Pippin and Banner are up to their shenanigans. I do believe by the time you see this, book 3 will be released or about to be released. So I still have my pre-publication original copy there, but I put my felted mushroom up here. Anyway, I love you guys. I hope you are having a wonderful, fantastic day. As always, I look forward to seeing you real soon. Please take care of yourselves. Bye, you guys.